we're going to be.
Jonah 2, verse number 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord, his God, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord.
Verse number 1. Verse number 1.
Verse number 1 again.
I want you now to notice.
Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly.
So he is in the fish's belly according to Jonah.
Oh, yes.
So he says it's a fish's belly. Because remember, he fell, he was swallowed.
Oh, yes.
He sees what is inside. It's a fish's belly. So you know it's some part of it is a fish.
It's a fish.
No.
According to him, it's a fish.
So mermaids are what? Part fish.
Part fish.
At least we have found a fish now.
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. Jonah. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and said,
I cried by reason of my what?
Affliction.
My affliction.
Unto the Lord.
Where? From where?
From the fish's
The
belly.
fish's belly.
No. What is he saying in verse number 2? That's what he said in verse number 1. Stay with the scriptures.
Out of the belly of hell. Cried
Out of the belly of hell.
Wow.
So when Jesus said, I will be in the... Are you getting this?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So when Jesus said, I will be in the fish's belly like Jonah, I'll be in the belly of the earth like Jonah. We need to find where Jonah was for us to know where Jesus was.
Because it has to be the same somewhere. It has to be the same.
How many know naturally you cannot survive while it's here in the belly of the fish or any animal
Never.
Can't.
for 3 days?
You can't.
You can't.
You ought to be dead first.
You
Nah,
actually
they didn't get it.
disappear. There are acids and chemicals.
Exactly. You ought to be
Disappear.
dead. That means Jonah died.
Oh, yes.
So Jesus said, the sign you shall receive is the sign of what? Of Jonah.
Jonah.
Because Jonah died and went to hell. I'm also going to die and go to hell. Okay, maybe you don't get this. Let's see. It says, for as Jonas, Matthew 12:40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the world's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. But we want to see if Jonah doesn't talk about the earth. If he doesn't, we stay with the belly of the fish. Let's go back to Jonah.
Let's go back to Jonah.
Jonah
Jonah 2, verse number 2. And said, I cried by the reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Verse number 3. For thou hadst cast me into the deep.
He says, where was he? Into the deep.
Into the
And
deep.
in the midst of the seas. Wait a minute. What seas? Where did he see them? And the floods compassed me about. How does he know now they are floods? When he's in the belly of the fish. How does he know these things?
Oh, yes.
That is a way of
Because now he has transitioned now. And remember, he was here. And he's going down, down, down. Where I told you hell is on earth. We're going to deal with it and I'll show you the location of hell. The message will be called Where is Hell? And I'll even give you videos. But don't worry, you'll get it. Now, I don't know if you're getting this.
You're getting it.
And the floods compassed me about, all thy billows and thy waves passed over me. How do they pass over him when he's inside the fish? The guy is already gone, he's dead. So all the transition he's now seeing is now of a dead person. There's no more fish here.
Jesus.
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
Then I said, what verse number 4?
Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight.
Wait a minute. Where is out of God's sight?
Deep in
Wait, where is out of God's sight?
Deep in hell.
Deep in hell. That's the only place where you're out of God's sight.
Oh, yes.
So he's confirmed.
Not in the fish. In the fish is okay.
That means he was dead, he was in hell.
The guy is dead.
And he's in hell. Out of God's
Yet
sight.
I will look again toward thy holy temple. What are you talking about? You are in a fish. What's your problem? You are in a fish. Speak like a man in a fish.
Oh, yes.
Verse number 5.
Verse number 5. The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped about my head. Verse number 6. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains.
Now, we'll go back to verse number 5.
Verse number 5.
The waters compass me about, even to the soul. How is water going to the soul? I don't know if you're seeing Jonah. Our brother Jonah is gone.
How can water
He's among the
get to
dead.
your soul?
Oh, yes.
And when you read the book of Jonah, you still think he's in a fish. But he says, I in a fish. Because he sees some parts that look like a fish.
Oh, yes.
Even the soul, the depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped round about my head. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains.
Mountains.
And the earth with her bars. Jesus said, I will be in the what? The center of the earth. 3 days and 3 nights. He is saying, I'm now caged. There are bars. It's a prison.
It's like a prison. Like.
Jesus went to hell for 3 days and 3 nights. He couldn't come out
Oh, yes.
until he finished what he finished. Jonah said, I was encompassed, closed about by bars of the earth.
It's a prison. That's a prison.
And the Bible says, when he went up on high, he led what? Speak again. Let's hear from the media. He led what?
Kept his
Kept
feet.
it.
Captivity captive. He arrested the jail. No, they didn't get it.
Captive.
Now the Bible says Jonah was in bars. He's talking about a prison with bars.
Oh, yes.
And when Jesus went up, he led captivity captive.
Taking the whole prison.
The whole prison with his bars.
The rest.
So what was in hell? He was right there. Ephesians 4:8 is your proof. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive. Took jail with his bars,
yes.
put it in jail, and locked it.
Hey.
You play around with Jesus.
My God.
You don't understand Jesus. Oh boy, I love Jesus.
Oh, boy.
See, he led captivity captive.
Oh, yes.
Arresting the prison.
That's why I stole this line from my man of God. He says, I'm turned on in my spirit. You know, the way you just feel like something. You feel like consuming the whole thing.
Oh, yes.
He led what kind of God do we have? You took it, you took jail and put it in jail. You take prison and put it in prison. And then the Bible says, and when he did that, he gave gifts to men. That means something was preventing him from living with those gifts.
Oh, yes.
And he was locked up in a location. And the Bible says, and this one was also locked up in a location. Are you getting this?
We're getting
Getting
it.
it.